we have a movie to review. For a good time, call.
Yes, in sharp contrast to Skyfall. This is it's an American comedy. It's written by two women, Ari Graynor and Lauren Ann Miller. I have to say they are new to me. I kind of recognise them, but I don't. This is their first film that they've written together, and they star in it together. It's directed by a man, interestingly, because I think that does make a difference. Called Jamie Travis, who's done a few. He's kind of a Canadian indie director previously. This is his first mainstream film. The other unusual thing about it, this is a comedy that's an 18 certificate. It's that rude. So it's about these two women who are, one of them's quite uptight, the other one's quite freewheeling. Mm-hmm. They end up sharing a rather nice flat together in Manhattan, and they're desperate for work. And the thing they do is, one of them's already working for, shall we say, explicit phone lines,
right? And
the other one decides, well, I might as well join her, even though I don't really approve of it. And let's hear this clip.
Get a landline. You're wasting your time for $1 a minute, and this depraved company you work for makes 4 times as much as you for doing nothing. Get your own hotline.
I've thought of that. It just sounds like a ton of work.
It's not a ton of work. You just call the phone company, they'll give you a new number, you'll set up a PayPal account, tell your repeat callers your new number, and you're done.
You seem to know how to do this. Help me make this a business, and I'll pay $100 of your rent until you get another job.
No. Okay, forever? I have an interview tomorrow at Laxton Press. It is the second best publishing house in the world. It is my dream job, and I'm perfect for it.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, you go get your fancy pants boring job, and I'll just be here being exciting.
Fine.
You know, you're not better than me. You're not better than phone sex.
I'm better than phone sex.
So this is clearly a post-Bridesmaids piece of filmmaking. I mean, there's no... I haven't checked, but I don't feel there's any way this film would have been made if it hadn't been for the huge success of Bridesmaids, a female-dominated, very, brilliantly successful, and I thought brilliant comedy in its own right. The problem for this is, you think, this is going to be a celebration of women doing what they want to do. It's written by these women, it stars them. For me, disappointingly and annoyingly, it just ends up being a kind of Judd Apatow style, very rude film with lots of swearing and lots of rude situations. They use people like Kevin Smith calling in. There's this slight Kevin Smith tone to it, I thought. And I like Kevin Smith films, the best Kevin Smith films. Chasing Amy is a great film. This feels like slightly too desperate to be shocking and to show women being rude and shocking. And really, is that such an exciting thing now? I think we're used to the fact that women can be shocking in films. And I will say one word, Girls, which is the TV show right now on Sky, which is a brilliant piece of work by Lena Dunham, brilliantly talented. And I just feel, watching this film this week, I just thought, after half an hour, this is like a sitcom with really rude bits. Watch Girls instead. That's proper talent. That's something properly original and very rude as well. This just feels deeply mediocre to me.
Right. Deeply mediocre.
It isn't good, it has to be said, but I think I liked it a little bit more than Boyd. Not a lot more, but a little bit more. I have actually become quite irritated with this kind of thing that presents itself as raunchy and sexy but is actually mostly a bit crude and a bit vulgar. So I mean, there are a couple of scenes. Seth Rogen has this cameo, Kevin Smith, they're on the other end of the phone when the talk is going on. We don't need to go into detail there.
We can't go into detail.
And the whole thing is actually that the film wants to be two things at once. On the one hand, it wants to be a love story between the two girls who, of course, start off hating each other. They met 10 years earlier. They got off on the wrong foot. They are forced to live in this flat together. And what the film is basically trying to be about is the fact that the sparky one brings out the other girl who really wants a job in publishing and thinks she's way too good for this phone sex lark, but is actually rather good at running the business side of the thing. And what's going to happen is they're going to come to kind of a mutual respect, and they're going to realise they're actually in love with each other. At one point, I thought they were going to be in love with each other, which would have been interesting.
That would have been good.
But of course, they can't do that. They have the inevitable gay best friend who comes around and makes all sorts of jokes about old movies, the usual stuff. But it really doesn't ever quite get to where it's going. To be fair to them, they did write it before Bridesmaids was ever thought of, and they did shop it around, but nobody would do it because they said we can't have women being this rude.
Right. No. So it's a post-Bridesmaids.
Yeah.
When will we get our post-Bridesmaids Bond, I ask?